Hello everyone, welcome to the Power BI tutorials channel. My name is Sandeep Raturi. In this video, we will create an end-to-end global superstore sales and performance dashboard in Power BI. Now, I will show you a demo of the project which we will create from scratch. Here you can see the report I published to the Power BI service. This is the report name Global Superstore Sales and Performance Dashboard. Here I have used multiple slicer to filter the report data and I create multiple KPIs and I use DAX code to create KPIs and I added image icons to enhance their appearance. In the map visual, you can see the three level of hierarchies data which are country, state and city, and also you can use the drill up and drill down functionality to navigate one level of hierarchy to another level. Means at first look it will show you the country level of sales data in the map visual, and when you select on drill down, so it will navigate to second level of hierarchy which is state level. So you can see here country name is United States and state is California, and you can see the sales for California. If you select one more time drill down, so it will navigate to you third level of hierarchy which is city. So you can see here country is United States, state name is California and city is San Francisco, and you can see the sales for San Francisco. Now we already reached the third level of hierarchy, so now it is showing you drill up. So once you click on drill up, again it will show you the two level of hierarchy information. So you can see here country is United States and state is California, and you can see the sales. So once you click on one more time drill up, so now it will show you the first level of hierarchy which is country. If you go to the another page which is view sales and performance, you can see the slicer same as first page, and also you can see the multiple visuals such as sales and profit by year and month, total sales by segment and market, count of orders and shipments by year and month, top 5 customers and products by profit, top 5 loss by products, total sales by ship mode. Also here I implemented drill through functionality. Means if you want to see the detailed view of any summary data, so you can use the drill through. So for an example, just over any segment, so you can see here this is the consumer segment, and you can see the sales is 650,7949, and if you want to see the breakup of this sales, just click on drill through and select the drill through page. So it will navigate to you drill through page, and here you can see the consumer segment sales breakup which was 650,7949. And also here I implemented conditional formatting. So if you notice under profit columns, some values are showing as in red color which indicate we got loss in profit, and if you will click on back button, it will navigate to you source page which was sales and performance. Now I will show you how RLS works here. I published this report under my workspace. Open the my workspace, and here you can see the report and semantic model for the report. Click on three dot of semantic model of the report, select the security, and here you can see the roles for the report. I created two roles based on market. So one roles I created for Africa market and another roles I created for Asia Pacific market. So if user has belongs to Africa market, so I will add user under Africa roles, and if user has access of Asia Pacific market, so I will add user under Asia Pacific roles. Now I will show you how you can test the RLS. So first select the roles and click on three dot and select the test as roles. So if you see here, we select the Africa roles. So now you can see the throughout the report, it will show you the Africa data. And you can check the same under market slicer. It is showing only one market which is Africa. And if you go to the another page, so now you can see the same Africa data. Now we will test the another roles. So click here, and from here just uncheck the Africa and select the Asia Pacific and click on apply. Now it will show you only Asia Pacific data, and you can check the same under market. So you can see here it is only showing the Asia Pacific market. And if you go to the another page, so here you can only see the Asia Pacific data. As a report author, I can test the RLS like this, but in real time the user will simply log in into the Power BI service and he will only see the data based on their access rights. Now I will discuss the steps with you that we will follow to create the reports. In first step, we will understand the requirements and data. In second step, we will load the data into Power BI. In third step, we will transform the data, and after that we will create relationships between tables. Then we will set the page size and theme colors for the report, and after that we will create visuals and DAX formulas for the KPIs. After that we will create the RLS, and in last step we will publish the report to the workspace, and after that we can share the reports with users. Now understand the requirements and data. Report name would be Global Superstore Sales and Performance Dashboard. For the development, we will use Global Superstore Dataset 2016. If you don't know what is Global Superstore Dataset, so here you can see the Global Superstore Dataset is a widely used sample dataset for the data analysis and visualization, mostly used in tools like Power BI, Tableau and other analytics platforms. It represents fictional sales data for a global retail company covering a range of categories such as orders, products, customers and shipping details. Under Global Superstore Dataset, we have three tables: orders, people and returns, and one more table we will create Power BI side, which would be calendar table. Now I will show you the dataset. So here you can see this is the Global Superstore Dataset 2016, and under this we have three sheets. First one is orders, second is returns and third is people. Mostly in this project we will use two tables, orders and returns. Orders table contains the order information of customers. So here you can see the order ID, order date, ship mode, customer ID, customer name, segment, then we have postal code, city, state, country, region, market. This is the product ID, category, then we have subcategory, product name, sales, quantity, discount, profit, ship cost, then we have order priority. Returns table contains the return order information, and in people tables we have region wise customer information. Now continue with requirement, and this is the list of report filters: market, region, country, category, subcategory, product name and year, month and day. Now this is the KPIs requirement in the report. So first one is total orders, the total number of individual orders placed within a specified time frame. Second is total quantity, the sum of all items sold across all orders, indicating the overall volume of products sold. Third is total sales, the total revenue generated from all orders before any discounts or returns. Fourth one is total profit, the total profit made from sales after deducting cost. Fifth is unique products, the number of distinct products sold. Average delivery days, the average number of days taken to deliver products after an order is placed. Seventh is total returns, the total number of products returned by customer, reflecting customer satisfaction and product quality. Eighth is return rate, the percentage of orders that have been returned, calculated as total returns divided by total orders. Ninth is total discount, the total value of discounts applied to orders. Tenth is total shipping cost, the total cost incurred for shipping products to customers. Now I will discuss with you visuals requirement. So first is map visual. The map shows the total sales distribution across different geographic levels such as country, state and city. Second, line chart. So in line chart we will display the information of sales and profit by year and month. Third, we have pie chart. In pie chart we will show the information of total sales by segment and market. Then we have matrix visual. In matrix visual we will show the information of count of orders and shipments by year and month. In cluster column and line chart we will display the information of top 5 customers by profit, and also we will show the sales. Next we have cluster bar chart. In cluster bar chart we will display the information of top 5 products by profit and top 5 loss by products. Then we have pie chart. In pie chart we will show the information of total sales by ship mode. After that we will create the RLS roles in Power BI desktop, and then we will publish the report into Power BI service. Now we are done with step 1 where we understood the requirements and data. Now we will move to the step 2, which is loading data into Power BI. Open the Power BI desktop and you will see a blank Power BI report, and we will use this report as a reference and build a new report from scratch. In the video description I will provide the data source and image icons website link, and if you visit my website powerbidocs.com, so under Power BI menu, if you scroll down, you will see a download Power BI sample dataset link, and if you will open this link, it will navigate to you another page, and from here and you can download the Global Superstore Dataset 2016. This dataset we will use in the report development. And for image icons, you can visit the flaticon.com website, and here you can directly search the icon. So for an example, Let's suppose you want icon for total orders. So just type here orders, click on search, and here you can see the icons. If you notice here, first icon, same icon I am using in the report for total orders. You can see here. So just click on download and click on PNG, and from here you can download the icon. In same way you can download the icon for others. So let's suppose I want to download the icon for shipment. So just type here shipment, and here you can see the shipment icon. So same icon I am using here, and for total shipment cost. Now we will load the global superstore dataset into Power BI. So for that, under home tab you can see the get data option. Select the Excel workbook and select the global superstore dataset from your system and click on open. Select all three sheets, and here you can see the preview of data, and in bottom you can see the two options, load and transform data. So what is the difference between both? If you want to perform some transformation before load data into Power BI desktop, so you can select the transform data, and if you want to directly load the data into Power BI without any transformation, so select the load. So right now we will go with option first, load, and later on we will perform the transformation. So you can see here it is creating the connection between Power BI desktop and Excel file, and it will take few seconds, depends on data volumes. And now you can see here it is loading the data, and under data tab you can see the all three tables, orders, people and returns. And if you want to see the data for these three tables, so go to the table view, and here you can see the data. So this is the orders table data, this one is people table data, and this one is returns data. After loads the data, we will save the Power BI file. So just press the Ctrl S, and here you can assign the report name and click on save. And if you want to save the file particular folder, so just click on more option, browse this device, and here you can select the folder or location where you want to save your report. So I want to save my report under global superstore dashboard, and here I am giving report name GSS, global superstore, and click on save. So now you can see here my reports has been saved with name GSS. We have completed the first two steps. So now let's move to the third step, which is transforming the data. Why transformation is required here? Let me show you the table data. As you can see, the headers names are not in valid format, and the first row contains the actual headers names, person and region. And if you check the same for other table, which is returns, here you can see headers names are not in valid format. So we will assign the proper headers name to this table columns. Now we will perform the transformation through Power Query Editor window. So you can access the Power Query Editor window with two methods. First one is through header section options, and second is by select the table. So let me show you the first option through header section. So under home tab you can see the transform data option, and here you can select the transform data. So it will navigate to you Power Query Editor window. And second method is by select the table. So just select the table, and here click on three dot, and here you can see the edit query option. So once you click on edit query, it will navigate to you Power Query Editor window. So you can use any method. So just select the edit query, and you can see here now you are in Power Query Editor window. On the left hand side you can see the queries for orders, people and returns table. We open the Power Query Editor window by select the orders table. So that's the reason orders table query is selected here. And if you select people query, so it will show you the data for people queries, and from here you can perform the transformation. In same way, if you will select the returns query, so it will show you the data for return query, and from here you can perform the transformation. Now we will do the transformation for people and returns query. Select the people query, and here you can see first row contains the headers name. So we will make first row as a header. So click here, select the second option, use first row as headers, and you can see here now first row values has been replaced with headers name, and under applied steps one transformation step has been added. Whenever you will perform any transformation, so for that transformation step will be added under applied step, so that in future you can easily identify what type of transformation you applied here. Just right click on the transformation name, select rename, and provide the meaningful name to the transformation. Say here what we did, we make the first row as a header, So just provide the meaningful name here. Make first row as header. So this is just for your reference purpose so that in future you can easily identify the number of transformation. Now select the details query and here we will perform the same transformation. You can see here first row contains the header name. Click here and select use first row as header. Now you can see here first row converted as a header and under applied steps transformation step has been added. Just right click on the transformation step, select rename, provide the meaningful name, and now we are done with transformation for both queries. Now I will show you the what other types of transformation you can perform under Power Query Editor window. So just select the column name, right click, and here you can see the list of transformation which you can use. So from here you can remove the duplicate columns, you can remove the duplicate rows, you can change the data type for column, and you can transform the column values as in upper or lower case. You can replace the values, you can split the columns value based on some conditions. Also you can use group by, you can rename the column, and many more. So now we are okay with transformation. So now we will save the transformation changes. So for that under home tab click on close and apply and select the close and apply. Now you can see here changes has been saved successfully. So now we will check the data. Go to the table view and select the returns table. So now you can see the header's name. Now we will check for people table. So you can see here header for people table. Now we will add one more table, that is calendar table. Why calendar table is required here? Let me show you the original report. So in matrix visual we are showing the information of count of orders and shipments by year and month. So to handle this requirement we need separate calendar table. Let me show you the orders table data set. So this is the orders table data set and here we have two date column. One is order date and second is ship date. So the challenge is here which date column we can use to filter the report data. If we will use order date column, so it will show you the correct count of number of orders, not for shipments. And if we will use ship date column, so it will show you the current count of shipments, not for orders. That's the reason we need separate calendar table and we will create relationship of calendar date column with order date and ship date. And we will use calendar date column as in filter here. So then it will show you the correct count. Here I created calendar table to using the DAX code. So you can see the DAX code. I will provide you this DAX code in the video description. So you can use from there. And also I will explain you how this DAX code is working. So copy this line of DAX code. And here also we will create calendar table to using the DAX code. So for that go to the modeling tab and select this one new table. And if you see the description, write a DAX expression to create a new table. So click here and just paste the code here and give the table name calendar and click on commit. And you can see here calendar table has been created. Let's check the data for calendar table. And here you can see calendar table has been created with single column and column name is date. So what is this DAX mean? Calendar DAX support two argument from date and to date. In from date we passed min orders date and in to date we passed max order date. So what does that mean? So if you look into orders data set, in order data set we have minimum date is in year 2012 and if you sort the dates and max date is in December 2015. And if you go back to the calendar table, so you can see here minimum orders date means dates will start from 2012 and if you sort the date and here you can see the max date December 2015. So that's the reason we used min or max order date. So in future if any new date comes in orders table, so it will automatically add here. Now we will add some more columns in calendar table to get the year, month and month short name and year month together. So go back to the main file and now copy the entire code and replace this code with that code and click on commit. So here I used add column DAX. So what add column does? It will add the new columns in existing table. So in existing table I added these new 5 columns. To get the year from date column I used year DAX function. To get the month from date column I used month DAX function. and I want year and month together in this format, so I use format X. And I want month short name, so I use format X with this format triple M. And then I want day from date column, so I use date X. So I hope you get some clarity how calendar X works. Now we are done with 3 steps. Let's move to the step 4, which is to create relationships between tables. Go to the Power BI practical file. Under model view, you can create the relationship between tables. If you notice here, a relationship has already been created between the returns and people tables. Power BI is very smart. Based on the common column between the tables, Power BI creates this relationship for you. You don't need to worry about it. Now I will show you how you can create manual relationship between tables. So for that, first I will delete this existing relationship. So just select the relationship line between tables, right click, click on delete, give your confirmation, click on yes, and now you can see here relationship has been deleted between the tables. So first we will create relationship between returns and people table. So if you notice here in both table, region column is common. So based on region column, we will create the relationship. So from returns table, press and hold the region column and drag it into in people table region column. So you can see here new relationship window has been opened. And if you notice here in bottom, cardinality relationship type is many to one, means in returns table under region column, same region can be repeated multiple times, and in people table we have unique region. So that's the reason relationship type is many to one. And if you notice here, make this relationship active is selected. Click on save, and you can see here relationship has been created between returns and people tables. Now we will create relationship between orders and calendar table. From orders table, press and hold the order date column and drag it into in calendar table date column. And here you can see the cardinality relationship type is many to one, because in orders table same order date can be repeated multiple times, and in calendar table we have unique date. So that's the reason relationship type is many to one, and make this relationship active is selected and cross filter direction is single. If you want to understand what is cardinality and relationship type and cross filter direction, so you can watch my Power BI data modeling video for detail level understanding. Now click on save, and you can see here relationship has been created between orders and calendar tables. Now we will create one more relationship between orders and calendar table for ship date. So from orders table, press and hold the ship date column and drag it into in calendar table date column. And here you can see cardinality type is many to one, because in orders table same ship date can be repeated multiple times, and in calendar table we have unique date. So that's the reason cardinality relationship type is many to one. And this time if you notice here, make this relationship active is not selected. I will tell you later why this option is not selected. And cross filter direction is single. Click on save. If you notice, a relationship has been created with a dotted line between the ship date from the orders table and the date column from calendar table. The dotted line indicates that this is an inactive relationship. When we first created a relationship between orders and calendar tables based on order date and date column, the option to make this relationship active was selected. That's why this relationship is active. And you can see the relationship line is not in dotted form. And for inactive relationship, if you open this relationship, so here you can see make this relationship active is not selected. Reason behind, between two tables only one relationship can be active at a time. If you will try to make this relationship active, you will get an error, because at a time only one relationship can be active between two tables. So you don't need to worry about it. We will handle this through DAX function. Now we will create relationship between orders and returns table. So if you notice here in both table, order ID column is common. So from orders table, press and hold the order ID column and drag it into in returns table order ID column. And here you can see in orders table same order can be repeated multiple times, and in returns table we have unique orders. So that's the reason coordinated relationship type is many to one, and make this relationship is active. And here we will set the cross filter direction to both. So I will tell you why. So for time being, just click on save, and here you can see the relationship has been created between both tables, and here cross filter direction is both. Now I will tell you why I enable bidirectional filtering between orders and returns table. So for an example, if you want to filter returns table data based on calendar table date, so without bidirectional you cannot filter. Reason behind, there is no direct link between returns and calendar table. And here if you notice, calendar table is connected with orders table and orders table is connected with returns table. So through bidirectional filtering, both table data will filter. And if you set cross filter direction to single, so returns table data will not filter based on orders table data selection. Now we are done with step number 4. Let's move to the step number 5, which is set the report page size. Go to the Power BI practical file, and here you can see this is the default report page size. Report page size will depend on number of visuals you are showing in the page. If you look into main report, so here we are showing multiple visuals in the single page. So that's the reason we will change the default report page size to custom. Go back to the practical file, and under visualization pane, you can see the format your report page option. Once you open it, you can see the canvas settings option, and under canvas settings option you can see the multiple page type options. So 16:9 is default report page size. Then we have 4:3, you can see here. Then we have letter report page size, and this one is used for tooltip, and here is the option of custom. So for this report we will use custom report page size, and for height we will use 720 pixel and width would be 1500 pixel. So throughout the report we will use this height and width, and after that we will set the page view. So under view tab you can see the page view option, and we will go with fit to page option. So for all report pages, so we will use this page size and page view setting. Now we are done with step number 5. Let's move to the step number 6, which is set the theme colors for the report page. Go to the main report. Under view tab you can see the theme options. So here we have multiple theme options. You can select any theme for your report. Each theme has different colors and combinations. So whatever theme you will select from here, Power BI will give the priorities of that theme colors first. So let me show you how. Let's suppose I want to change the color for this pie chart. So select the pie chart. Under visualization pane, you can see the option for format your visual. Click here and search for color and select any color. So based on my selected themes, Power BI giving the priorities of that theme colors first, and after that it is showing other colors as well. And also you can customize these themes colors as well. So let me show you how. So for that, go to the Power BI practical file. Under view tab you can see the theme options. Scroll down, and here you can see the customize current theme option. Open it, and here you can see the current theme colors. So we will replace this current theme colors with our colors, which we will use in the report. So in Notepad, I already noted down the colors which we will use in the report. So from here, copy each color one by one and replace with Power BI current theme colors. So just click here, just replace the current color code with your code. Now go back to the Notepad, copy the second color code and paste here. So in same way, one by one, we will copy each color and we can replace like this. So this is fourth color, this one is fifth color, so now Power BI will give the priorities of these 8 colors first, and also it will show you the other colors as well. Now click on apply. So now we successfully change the theme colors for the report. After this, we will set the canvas background and wallpaper color for the report page. So if you go to the format your report page setting, under this you can see the canvas background and wallpaper option. So from here, we will set the canvas background and wallpaper color for the report page. So now what is the difference between canvas background and wallpaper? Go to the main report. Here I will show you the difference. So what is mean of canvas background? So canvas background is a portion where you are showing the visuals. So if you notice here, from here to here, this is the canvas background. So if you go to the format your report page setting, and if you open the canvas background, so here I will change the color to show you the difference. So let's suppose I am choosing any dark color so that you can easily identify the canvas background area. So you can see here, this is the canvas background. Now I am going to change the wallpaper color. So here, let's suppose I select this color. So you can see here, this is the wallpaper color. So now go to the practical file, and in Notepad, I noted down the both color for canvas background and wallpaper. So copy the canvas background color from here. Go to the format your report page setting. Open the canvas background. Click here and paste here. Now copy the color for wallpaper. Open the wallpaper option, and here you can paste the color for wallpaper, and make sure transparency should be the 0% for both. So open the canvas background, and here you can see the transparency for canvas background is 100%. So make it 0%, and check the same for wallpaper. So for wallpaper, transparency is already 0%. Now we are good with report theme and page colors. Now we are in step number 7, where we will create visuals and DAX formulas for the KPIs. Go to the Power BI practical file. So here first we will give the report heading and we'll add the dashboard logo. So as I already told you, I am using flaticon.com website for icons. So here you can search for dashboard and click on search. So right now I am using this icon for dashboard logo. Go back to the Power BI practical file, click on insert tab, select the text box and give the report name, which is Global Superstore Sales and Performance Dashboard. And then open the format box and click on properties, and from here you can manage the height and width for the text box. And second option is just press and hold the corner of text box and you can move like this. In same way from bottom, just press and hold the corner and you can increase or decrease the height like this. Now select the text and choose the font Arial, and font size would be 20 pixel, and increase the width little bit, and from here you can choose the color black and make it bold. So now we are good with the report heading, and select again the text box and open the effects, and from here just disable the background. Now we will provide some margin for horizontal and vertical position. So for that, open the properties, and here you can see the position option, open it. So right now for horizontal and vertical position, margin is 0 pixel. So for report page, we will provide some margin from left to right. So just add the 28 pixel margin. So now you can see here my heading is starting from 28 pixel. So same for vertical, we will add 12 pixel margin. So now you can see here my heading is moved to 12 pixel from vertical. After this, we will add the report logo. So under insert tab, you can see the add image icon. Just click here, select your report logo, click on open, and you can press and hold the corner of image, and you can adjust the height and width like this, and you can move it to right hand side top like this, and manage the height of your logo, and make sure from left and right side margin should be the same, and you can imagine the margin for left and right side and place the logo accordingly so that report looks good from both sides. And for heading, we set the vertical position 12 pixel, you can see here under position, and same vertical position we will set for the image. So select the image, go to the general, open the properties section, and here you can see the position, and it's automatically set to 12, but from here you can set it 12 if 12 is not set. And you can also decrease the height of logo little bit like this. So let me show you the final height and width for logo. So under general tab, open the properties. So this is the final height and width for logo. So you can directly use this height and width for your logo. So now we are good with heading and logo. After this, we will add the slicer for report. So go to the main report. So first is market slicer, second is region and country, third is category and subcategory, fourth is product name, and last one is year, month and day. So let me check the height and width for this. So select the slicer, go to the format tab, and under general open the properties. So you can see here height is 73 and width is 262 pixel. So go to the Power BI practical file. Now we will add the slicers in the report page. Under visualizations pane, you can see the slicer. Just click to the slicer, and from orders table, drag the market column to the field section of slicer. After that, go to the format tab, open the slicer setting, and from here change the style of slicer vertical list to drop down, and open the slicer header and make it bold, and choose the font color of slicer from theme colors, this one. And after that we will set the height and width for slicer. So for that, go to the general tab, open the properties section, and here we will set the height 73 pixel and width 262 pixel. So now we are okay with market slicer. Now we will create the slicer for region and country. So copy the market slicer to using Ctrl C key and paste here to using Ctrl V, and after that from orders table drag the region column first like this, remove the market column, and after that drag the country column just below region column like this. And if you see here, now it will show you the region and country together. If you open the Central Africa region, so under this you can see the countries. Now we will create one more slicer. So same, copy the slicer and paste the slicer like this, and this slicer we are creating for category and subcategory. So drag the category column from orders table. So you can see here, this is the category column. Drag here, remove the existing slicer, and after that drag the subcategory column just below the category column. So this one is slicer for category and subcategory. So furniture is a category, under this you can see the subcategory. Now we will create one more slicer for product name. So same, Ctrl C and Ctrl V, and from orders table drag the product name to the field section of slicer, remove the existing columns, and you can see this slicer is for product name. Copy the slicer one more time and paste here, and this slicer is for year, month and day. So we will add year, month and day from calendar table. So open the calendar table. So here first we drag year, remove the existing column, then we will drag month name. So for month we will use month short name, and then drag the day column, and here we will rename month short column to month. So just double click to the column name and remove the short from month. Now we will change the slicer position from vertical. So using Ctrl key you can select the multiple slicer like this, go to the format tab, under general open the properties, and here you can see the position, and from here we will change the position to 79, and make sure for first slicer horizontal position should be 28 pixel. So select the slicer, go to the format tab, under general open the properties, open the position, and set the horizontal position to 28, because if you remember report heading horizontal position is 28 pixel. So we will make sure from left side for all visual horizontal position should be 28 pixel. Now we will maintain the same space between all slicer. So just imagine the gap between all slicer and try to fix same space between all slicer. So you can select the slicer and you can move the slicer here and there like this, and also you can use backward and forward arrow keys from your keyboard to move the slicer here and there like this, and try to fix the space between all slicer. Like this, and after that select all slicer and check one more time the vertical position. Go to the format tab, open the general, open the properties, position, and just change the position one more time, 79 pixel. So make sure all slicer should be in the same position. After this we will enable visual border and round corners for the slicer. So select the all slicer by pressing Ctrl key like this. Go to the format tab, open the general, under effects you can see the visual border. Just enable the visual border, and here enter the code F1 F1 F1. In round corners we will use 7 pixel, and width is 1 pixel is fine. So now you can see the round corners in the slicer. Now we will add all these 10 KPIs in our report. So for these all KPIs I am using new card visual. So under visualization pane you can see the new card visual is here. So now go to the Power BI practical file. Now go to the visualization pane and add the new card visual in the report page. Add the order ID column in the data section of card visual, and right click here and make it count, because this is the total order of customers. Now double click on the column name and change the column name to total orders. And now we will set the horizontal and vertical position for this card visual. So go to the format tab, click on general, open the properties, open the position. Horizontal position 28 pixel is fine. We will set the vertical position. So set the vertical position 170 pixel. And now we will set the height and width for this. So here set the height 90 pixel and width 244 pixel. And now go to the visual tab, open the callout values, and here set the font size 20 pixel, make it bold, click on color and choose the dark blue color. So here you can see the code for color 1C4E80. And now scroll down, open the label, and here increase the font size by 1 pixel, 13 pixel, and set the font din, make it bold, and color is fine. Now open the image section, turn on the image, and from here we will browse the image for total orders. So I will use this icon for total orders. Select the icon and click on open. And now scroll down, vertical alignment should be last one, and then set the size for image icon 46 pixel. After that scroll down, open the card setting, and from here just turn off the background, turn off the border, just enable the accent bar, and from here you can select the any color. So I will go with this gray one, 65E FC. So you can note it down the color code and you can use this color code. And then we will increase the width for accent bar. So set the width 3 pixel, and now we will enable the border and we will make the round corners for this card visual. So for that go to the general setting, and under effects you can enable the visual border, and from here choose the color, this one E6 E6 E6. So you can note down the color code and you can use this color code for visual border. And now set the round corners 7 pixel. So you can see here we are done with first card visual setting. So now we will use same settings for other visuals. So let me copy this visual 9 times because we have 10 KPIs. So you can use Ctrl C for copy the visual, and you can use Ctrl V for paste. So here you can see I paste same visual 9 times. Now we will change the icon and calculation for other visuals. So second KPI is total quantity. So for that we will use quantity column. So just add the quantity column in the data section for second card visual, and from here you can rename the column total quantity, and this is the sum of quantity. So right click here and select the sum if sum is not selected. And now we will change the icon for total quantity. So select the card visual, go to the format tab, open the images, scroll down, delete the existing image and browse the image for total quantity. So for total quantity I will use this quantity icon and click on open. So you can see here icon has been changed. So now let me check the third KPI. So go to the main report, and here third KPI is total sales and fourth one is total profit. So go back to the practical file, select the third KPI, and this one is total sales. So for this we will use sales column. So add the sales column into data section, right click on the column name and make sure sum is selected here. Now double click on the column name and change the column name to total sales. Now we will set the image icon for total sales. So go to the format tab, open the images section and delete the existing image and browse the image for total sales. So for total sales I am using this icon and click on open. Now fourth KPI was total profit. So select the fourth KPI, and for total profit we are using profit column. So add the profit column in the data section and delete the existing one, total orders. Right click on the column name, make sure sum is selected here and double click on the column name, and this is total profit. Now we will change the icon for total profit. So go to the format tab, Open the images section, delete the existing icon and browse the icon for total profit. So for total profit I am using this one. Click on open. So we are good with 4 KPIs. Now let's move to the fifth KPI. So let me check the fifth KPI. So here you can see fifth KPI is unique products and then we have average delivery days. So go to the Power BI practical file and select the fifth KPI. So for unique products, we will count the number of unique product ID. So for that, from orders table, drag the product ID into data section and remove the total orders and right click on the column name and select the count distinct and then change the column name. This is unique products and now we will change the icon for unique products. So go to the format, open the images and from here remove the existing image, click on browse and I am using this icon for unique products. Now we are good with this KPI. Now move to the next KPI which is average delivery days. Now let's understand first what is average delivery days. So here you can see the definition. The average number of days taken to deliver products after an order is placed. So first we will calculate the day difference between orders date and ship date. So for that I created one calculate column and after that we will write a DAX function to calculate the average. So let me show you the code for day difference between order date and ship date. So here you can see I created one calculate column with name shipping days and here I used day diff DAX function. This DAX function will return the day difference between order date and ship date. So just copy the code from here, go to the Power BI practical file and select the orders dataset, right click and select the new column and paste the code here and click on commit. Now go to the table view and select the orders dataset and if you see here, now it is showing the days difference between order date and ship date. Now we will create a DAX function to get the average of delivery days. So let me show you the DAX code for the same. And here you can see the DAX code to get the average delivery days. So for that I used average DAX function and under this I passed the shipping days column name which we created as a calculate column. So copy the DAX code from here, go to the Power BI practical file, right click on the order dataset and click on new measure and paste the code here and click on commit. Now go to the report view, select the KPI and remove the total orders from here. Now drag the average delivered days into the data section. So now you can see here it is showing the result in decimal 3.97. So we will make it whole number. So select the DAX measure under measures and tools. So you can see here format is journal. Click here and make it whole number. So now you can see here now it is showing the round of number. Now we will change the icon for average delivery days. So go to the format tab, open the images, remove the existing image, browse the image for average delivery days. So for that I am using this icon, click on open. So now you can see here icon has been changed for average delivery days. And here you can see the tax is not showing for average delivery days. So we can increase this card visual little bit like this and same width we will set for other card visual like this. Now next we have total returns and return rate KPI. So what is total returns? The total number of products returned by customers and return rate is the percentage of orders that have been returned calculated as total returns divided by total orders. So for that I created two measures. So let me show you the code for the same. So go to the main report and under returns table, here you can see that I created two measures. So let me show you the code first for total returns. So here you can see, here I am counting the number of total return order ID. And now I will show you the code for return rate. So in return rate, I am using divide DAX function. In first argument, I am passing the total return, which I showed you earlier. And in second parameter, I am counting the order ID, which exists in orders dataset. And after that, I am using divide DAX function. So in short, I am dividing total return ID with total orders ID. So total return ID is coming from returns table and total order ID is coming from orders table. Now copy the measure for total returns, go to the practical file, and we will create these two measures under returns table. So select the returns table, right click, select the new measure and paste the code here and click on commit. Now we will copy the code for return rate. Go to the practical file, select the returns table, select the new measure and paste here. So select the KPI for total return. Now drag the total returns measure in the data section of card visual and remove the existing column. So you can see here, now it is showing the total returns. Now select the KPI for return rate percentage and delete the existing column value and drag the return rate measure here. So now you can see here, it is showing the return rate 0.02. And now we will convert this return rate as in percentage. So select the measure and from measures tool, here you can see the format type is general. Click here and select the percentage. So now you can see here, it is showing 2.10 percentage. And also you can change the ascent bar color for both KPIs. So select the both KPIs by pressing the control key. Go to the format tab, select the cards, scroll down, open the ascent bar, and here you can change the color. So we will choose red color. So click on more colors and from here you can select the red color like this. And now you can see ascent bar color has been changed for both. Now we will change the icon for total returns and return rate. So select the total returns KPI, go to the format tab, open the images section, delete the existing image and browse the image for total return. So here for total return I am using this icon. Click on open. So you can see here icon has been changed for total returns. In same way we will change the image icon for return rate. So select the return rate KPI. Under format tab, under images section, delete the existing image, browse the image for return rate. We will use same image. Click on open. Now you can see here images icon has been changed for both KPIs. Now let's move to the another KPIs, which are total discount and total shipping cost. So go to the practical file, select the KPI for total discount and from orders table we will use the discount column for this. So here you can see we have discount column. So drag the discount column in the data section, remove the existing column from the card visual and double click here and change the name for this total discount and right click here, make sure sum is selected here. And now we will change the icon for this. Go to the format tab, expand the images section, delete the existing image, click on browse and for discount we will use this icon, click on open. Now select the another KPI and here we will use shipping cost column to get the total shipping cost. So drag the shipping cost column in the card visual data section and remove the existing column and double click here and change the column name total shipping cost. And now we will change the icon for shipping cost. Go to the format tab, open the images section, delete the existing image and browse the image for shipping cost. And for shipping cost we will use this icon. So now we are good with all 10 KPIs. Now we will set the gaps between all KPIs. So you can select the KPIs and press and hold, and you can move KPIs like this. So in same way we will adjust the gaps between all KPIs. And also you can use your keyboard arrows key to move the KPIs here and there. So make sure gaps should be the same between all KPI so that report looks good. And also you can adjust the gap for multiple KPIs together. Select the multiple KPIs like this and go to the Format tab, open the General section, open the Properties and open the Position, and from here you can manage the position like this. So let's suppose I want to change the vertical position for both KPIs together. So from here you can move the card visual like this. In same way you can select for others KPI. So in this way you can manage the same gaps between the all KPIs. Now we will check the horizontal position for all KPIs. So select the all KPIs from left side, go to the Format tab, go to the General, open the Properties, open the Position and change once again horizontal position for all like this. So now you can see here for all left side KPIs horizontal position is set to 28 pixel. So now we are good with all 10 KPIs. That's enough for part 1. As this is a very long video, I will cover the remaining topics in part 2. Stay tuned.